Okay. Sherry, why don't you take some of them out of? Did you want me to copy and paste them for you or what? Sherry.
Oh, um, okay, I'll ask a few. Uh,
Okay.
let's see. Okay,
I go.
somebody
I got
wants
one.
to know, is there any treatment for the damage to the lower teeth? It says, I now have a topped denture.
So with the denture, saying if it's going to damage the lower teeth?
Well, it sounds, is there treatment for the damage to the lower teeth? I now have a topped denture, so I'm not sure if it's the top denture that's damaging the lower teeth or...
Yeah, it would depend, of course, on the material of the denture. If it was a porcelain material, which some dentists will use, it is possible that that material is abrasive and wearing down the other teeth. I would probably say that that's not likely, and I wouldn't expect a denture, because it's a weaker material than the tooth itself, to be causing too much damage.
Okay. Somebody says they have a drawer full of appliances that they've tried. They've seen a dentist about TMJ, and they still have headaches.
I guess my question there is the type of headache it is still. Obviously, not all headaches are created from clenching and grinding. So when I have a patient who has a lot of headaches, I ask them a couple questions, and I see signs in the mouth, they have worn down teeth or missing teeth. I first tell them to go home and ask themselves throughout the day, are their teeth touching? The reality is teeth should never touch unless you're eating. If you're sitting up and your muscles are relaxed, gravity will hold your teeth apart. If you're sitting there working, driving, anything, and you notice your teeth are together, you are actively clenching right then and there. When you go to bed, of course, you will clench 5 times harder than when you're awake and not be aware of it, and that's when most of the damage occurs.
That is very interesting, because I think if somebody had, I wouldn't have thought I was clenching my teeth just because they were touching. And so that's a really practical thing to do, just to relax your mouth enough your teeth aren't touching.
Yeah. And of course, during the day, we can get you to control it, and that's where the appliance comes in that most people wear in their sleep when you cannot control it.
Okay.
For this individual, if they're having the headaches, if they're waking up in the mornings with headache, an appliance should take care of all that. If they're getting headaches not in the morning or night, but during the middle of the day, it could be something that's postural related. If they're sitting in front of a computer all day, have a vision problem or something else. And then they bought a bunch of different appliances. Again, if they bought over-the-counter appliances, they really don't work from a long-term standpoint. A dentist needs to make it, and then the next problem you have is a lot of dentists will make them, but they don't know how to adjust them. So they make an appliance, they give it to you, stick it in your mouth, and tell you to go home. But if this individual's appliance has ridges all in it on the chewing surface, that chewing surface should be perfectly smooth.
Okay.
So that the mind and the teeth have nothing to clench on. There's no ridges, nothing there to catch on.
Okay. Well, I'm sure if everybody could, they would come make you be their dentist, but not everybody can come to Alabama. So do you have a suggestion for people who are looking for a dentist that maybe has this kind of expertise, out? Do you have any just recommendations?
I probably do. As we previously mentioned, the Pankey Institute, which is spelled Pankey, they have a ton of dentists that have gone there and learned from there, and they will be able to refer to dentists in their area.
Okay.
The Las Vegas Institute, I think was lvilive.com. They're a different philosophy, but again, we're talking about dentists who are spending a lot of money, taking a lot of time out of their schedule to learn high-end advanced dentistry. They'll have a list of dentists in the area that could help. And another institute I would talk about would be the AACD.com, the American Academy of Cosmetic Dentistry. Again, that's another institute where you're, in general, looking at dentists that are trying to do things better.
Okay, thank you. That's helpful. I'm going to ask this question that's multiple parts, so I'll just start. It says, what is the best, most helpful, and least expensive way to remove the say it for me,
Amalgam?
yeah, thank you, fillings, and what's the current average financial cost to do that? This is a 50-year-old man, and he said about 60% of his teeth have that, so it's going to be quite a process.
Yeah. Of course, composite is the resin-based material. It would be the first material of choice to use to replace amalgam. If the amalgam is very, very large, the dentist may say he has to do a onlay, which is a partial crown, or a full crown, at which time I would still recommend something all ceramic, something all porcelain. A lot of insurance companies, if he happens to have insurance, will pay to have them removed. Sometimes what's been interesting in the past, and that might change now that the FDA has changed the ruling, is the insurance company would pay the amount to have a silver filling done because they pay a little bit less than a composite or a white filling. The difference usually is only $30, $40. So if you have insurance, typically you're looking at maybe $40 give or take per tooth to have it replaced.
Okay. And you may have answered this next part of the question with how you answered the first part. It says, what replacement media lasts longer than diamond composite media?
Well, diamond composite might be a little misnomer. Composite, there's different types of composite materials. In general, they've all gotten to a certain strength now where the strength is about the same as enamel, or the outer surface of the tooth.
Okay.
So pretty much any dentist at this point in time who's using composite has to be using a material that is about the same strength as natural tooth, and should not be an issue.
Okay, there's two more shorter questions within this. Wondering if you've studied CoQ10 and its relations to periodontal disease.
I'm just starting to look into it, so I hate to say too much about it at this point in time, but it is something I'm trying to read more about. Again, from my standpoint, I'm not the research kind of doctor. I always look at a big picture compared to getting dialed into all the little small details of stuff. So right now my biggest thing has been mercury. I know it's a massive problem, and TMJ and the bite issues, and also sleep apnea and snoring. I love to treat that. Fluoride is another question that's coming up a lot in the CQ10 and all these things. Again, the zeolites is something that's brought up. Every time I give this, there's something I'm like, I got to read more about this. I got to learn what I can. So at this point in time, it's impossible for me to make an educated answer to that question.
Well, Doc, anytime you have any questions, or if you want to see any of our stuff and to read or watch, just let me know, and we'll send you stuff over, okay?
Oh, well, I'll probably be on your website for the next 3 hours tonight already.
Okay, the last part of this question says, is it good to gargle with hydrogen peroxide?
I think from a short-term standpoint, it's not a problem. If you're doing it 3-4 times a day, you have the potential of killing not only bad bacteria but good bacteria also. So I'm okay with it as long as you're not getting excessive.
Okay. All right. Well, I have a long one here. Are you done with that one?
Yep.
Okay. I have a long one here. Obviously she's been waiting. So Anne is asking, I have had poor dental problems my whole life. TMJ, wore braces to help properly align my teeth. I lost upper teeth in my 40s as bacteria destroyed bone, gum, etc. Yikes. I now only have 7 upper teeth. 5 were filed down to fit a permanent bridge. My question is, would I be better off having these remaining teeth pulled, as there is an underlying tooth infection that causes me to have an offensive bad breath, and I am constantly or continually fighting to maintain these teeth? I'm resisting having all teeth pulled as my parents never wore their false teeth. Also, your teeth are pulled. Once your teeth are pulled, doesn't your bone recede? Would an older person be better off trying to maintain their teeth as long as possible, or would they be better off physically if they had all their teeth pulled and just wore dentures? Long one.
Yeah, from my standpoint, I will do everything I possibly can to save a tooth. Once they're right, once you lose a tooth, you have no possibility of getting it back. And they mentioned something there, when you lose a tooth, the jawbone starts to dissolve. So for other people to understand that, it's kind of like working out. As we work out, our muscles get bigger. As we stop working out, our muscles shrink. The same goes with our teeth. As we're putting pressure on our teeth, it puts pressure on the jawbone and keeps the jawbone thick and healthy. Once we lose a tooth, there's no pressure put on that jawbone, and it slowly continues to dissolve away. And so if you're young and have a tooth pulled, you could be